Hi, we're here with Josh Campbell. He's a first-time candidate for City Council. Josh, why don't you tell us why you're running?
Thanks, Mike, and thanks to Yellowknife for having me. I'm making the jump from journalism to politics. Some of the major things I've talked to with your reporters in the past is I want to see more accountability and, as a journalist and communications professional, better communication with our city. So those are kind of the main reasons why I'm running. And I've been in the city now for 11 years this June, and I've seen some things change over that decade. Gord Van Teegen was the mayor when I first moved to town, and Mark, of course, is the outgoing mayor. So there's been some changes with the councils and with the mayor leadership, and I really want to hope to bring back a better communication, and not so much the layers of communication. As a journalist and as other reporter, you understand that it's very frustrating sometimes. You're trying to do a story at City Hall, and you have to go through several communications people before you get to talk to an official with the city. So I want to try to see if there's a way that we can streamline and make communications and our officials and decision makers a bit more accountable, but also easier to contact for stories.
Do you find there's a communication issue in general with the public, like just communicating from the city to the public?
I think it's more just reporters, and we're trying to get details and talk to the officials and department heads that it's delays. And I'm not sure if council has all that power, but I'll do the best that I can to make sure that if someone has a question that it can get answered at least within, I would hope, at least 48 hours. I've had sometimes where it's gone for longer than that, and it's just been for a simple interview about a new person that's on staff and that would relate to the listenership of CKLB anyways. So hopefully I'd like to see that improve.
What do you think are the main issues in the city council election, and what do you think you can do to help improve that situation or add a voice to it?
Well, first of all, the biggest one, being a resident of the downtown core, is how do we deal with the issue of poverty and with the folks that I guess we kind of dub them as street people. What do we do with the homeless situation? And I think first of all is just having that humanity approach. I'm not sure if the people going to warm up at the hospital and have that as one time was a triage approach. I don't think that's the most appropriate. I've been a person sitting there waiting to see a doctor, and you're kind of wondering, is a fight going to break out? It can be kind of scary, especially for young parents and people like that. So look at better solutions. We've kind of seen recently different locations being moved around. I don't think having a sobering center or a warming center next to a liquor store is a great idea. Let's think about the location and address these pragmatically, but also let's be realistic. That is it really a good idea to have something like that next to a liquor store? I think that was a bad choice.
What's your views on taxation? You're going to be, if you're elected, you're going to be taking part in a budget vote right away. So how would you go with that? Do you think you'd support a property tax? Where are you at with that?
As a parent and as someone who uses our facilities, I think that we have great sports and recreation facilities, and those don't operate for free. Instead of it necessarily being a tax hike, why don't we look at the user rate fees?
They go up 3% every year, as far as I know.
So if it's a 3% increase, let's really look at that. I just know, for example, I went to the pool this summer a couple times, and there was only a half hour left for that swim period. Sometimes, depending who'd be working, they'd say, go ahead, just go in and free with your son. And I was really appreciative, but sometimes, why aren't we looking at a discount rate? We got to pay to keep the lights on. We got to pay for the heat. We're an Arctic city, so I would rather keep the taxes as low as possible because it's already so expensive to live here.
I think you just mentioned, though, it sounded like we were talking about trying to keep some of the user fees down as well. So how would you balance that?
We got to look at the income ratio and
of people, voters.
Okay. The voters, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to go and put this on the backs of our senior citizens. Let's look at these facilities, and if it's with the sport leagues that use them, let's see if that might go to those people that actually use a facility.
Okay. Well, good luck in the election campaign, Josh, and thanks for coming in and seeing us.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care on the campaign trail.
All right.
Thank you.